competition taking place with each other, playing different roles through past, and it's playing out in this one together. I'm just trying to figure out what that is. I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out this dynamic. It's interesting. I'm trying to see this bigger part.
Well, the
It's quite
people in our
interesting.
family and our direct immediate family, those are, of course, ones that we especially incarnate with.
Yeah.
The others, in our lifetime that were maybe a classmate that you hung out with, or, the teacher you had in third grade, fourth grade, especially anyone that happens to stand out to you. Um, workmates that you end up working with for some time. Yeah, we agree to come into these incarnations together time and time again. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do that collective dream journal thread, so that we could start
Mm.
seeing the overlap, so that there was a possibility where we could have seen where we intersected in other lifetimes, not just this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's curious.
Yeah, fun stuff, fun stuff. I have those kind of dreams a
It's
lot
curious.
where I'm dreaming about, say, you and Jan and Iguana, but you don't look like you do here. I just
Mm.
know that it's you, and that's the other life.
I that feeling. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The very first dream I ever remember having wasn't even with people, it was with birds. And in the dream, the birds were speaking English, and I was speaking bird. It was backwards. Okay, let's see what we can do. 10-minute meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're just going for your, what you're going through the out of body part thing, the fun thing. You still stuck. You still doing that one.
Yeah, I'd like to focus on that.
Okay.
Uh, and just see where that takes us. We can do that for, maybe the next month, and then
Mm-hmm.
see how we feel about that relative to what was happening when we were approaching it the other way. And then we can decide how to move forward from there, if that sounds good.
Cool. No, I'm easy. I just go with the flow.
If you have
Never, everyone's an experience for me.
if you have ideas, definitely bring them to the table.
Mm.
One thing I'll mention also before we go in, that when I'm going into the out of body state, there's no reason to, like when we're opening a channel or attempting to open a channel, there's no real reason to ask the question, and what are you being most aware of now? That's purely for the channeling. If it seems like I've been quiet for a long time, then you can say something to help get my attention that I'm supposed to be talking. Sometimes I start, looking at something or going somewhere and forget I'm supposed to be talking. And so you can say, remember to report, or, whatever comes to your mind. But there's no reason to ask that question, what are you being most aware of now? Um, and then and if you do, the timing of it is rather critical. So um, asking it too close together or too much doesn't really work. That's purely a process for opening a channel, and purely the first two things to say. That's it. You don't even have to do it after that. Just do it a time or two
Uh,
to get me in there. Once I'm in there again, no need to do it.
I actually got that feeling, but I just kept on going because I didn't want to just leave it, and then you popped out, James, you left me in there too long. So I actually had that feeling not
That's
to say it,
purely
just
for
just
the
let you, but
channeling. Purely for the channeling. So
the
not for
challenge,
the
right?
out of body journeying, purely for opening the channel. And then also only as a way to begin, not something to do all the way through, only in the very beginning. Yeah. Uh, Again, that just helps me get in there. And another thing, and this may be helpful to you. I mean, because a lot of people are having challenges with bringing forward the awareness of what's going on in there, bringing forward any visuals, any symbols, any sensations, or whatever. Um, and so, one of the things that you won't do once you get in there is focus on any block. So that happened in the last session where we were practicing, and you asked, is there a block? So that's something that we don't ever want to do because, well, we could. It's just going to not get me out of body. It's just going to get me into the block. And although that's great for me, not great for the out of body experience that we're now going to share with other people to show them how to do this. Yeah, the reason I'm sort of interested in doing this is to get other people interested in the Monroe explorations thing. Yeah, as a project to show them, this is how it's done. This is how easy it is.
Yeah,
Any,
I've just watched a whole bunch of
anybody
Tom's
can do
Tom's
it.
put the ones out from his training sessions there. I just watched
You can
about
give
8
me
hours of that there.
you can give me any sort of positive. I know that this is hard because you're coming from a position of not having have gotten these things going for yourself yet, and so that's why I'm giving you the feedback. Once you get in there and start opening these up for yourself, and you'll see that if somebody else were to say this or this or
Oh,
this, it would
aye,
cut the experience off. And so I'm just sort of giving you the feedback in advance
aye, to learn.
of having
I
initiated
need to learn, yeah.
the
Yeah,
experience. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but once you get in there, what you need is positive cues. So when I say to you, when I ask you a question and you say I don't know, do I ever accept that?
No.
I never accept that. I keep saying the same thing in a slightly different way until you answer my question. and that's and that's because I know what it's like for me in there and what would work for me to get the information. So you just keep um, and you do this.
Rephrasing.
You do this too, by the way. So you naturally know to do this also, because I see it in our past channeling sessions where you've done it, right? I didn't answer, and you just asked again, but in a slightly different way. And then there it is. I mean, you never know which word concepts are gonna, like,
Yeah, it
really
just
do it.
triggers it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I noticed that
yeah.
the
Just
concept
triggers the
of
consciousness,
symbols
doesn't it?
works really good for me, and so like the second you say symbol, like if you say name, but if you say symbol, all of a sudden something in me just lights up, you know, and
I've got
so,
3 choices. I can say name, symbol, or sound. So I can come up with to identify something with. It could be a sound or something.
right, and you can try all of
Could be
them.
something.
It's not like you have to stop saying, "Can you get a name?" Start out, "Can you get
Yeah,
a name?" Everybody understands name, but if it's not
yeah.
happening, yeah, rephrase, yeah.
Rephrase, just try different.
You just say the
Yeah.
same thing but
Something to trigger.
rephrase it. hmm And
Yeah.
then the positive cues always work well. You can see the information's right there. What is it you're beginning to see? What is it you're beginning to feel? You just keep saying it. Don't like focus on any block or go into that. Just you keep reminding it's right there, it's right in front of you. What are you beginning to sense? What are you beginning to see? What are you beginning to feel? Etc. And you never know which of those is going to work because sometimes I'm seeing and not, feeling so much. Sometimes I'm in a pure feeling and not seeing at all. And so like
It's just
the
changing.
experience can be happening from a variety of different levels. So if I'm in the pure awareness field, there's no visuals here. This is a pure feeling field. So if I'm in that field, experiencing from that field, the feeling thing works. But if I'm in the visual fields, then the visual cue works. Especially when I'm wanting to see.
What are you? What are you? What are you predominantly? Are you predominantly visual? Okay, is that your predominant one?
This is fascinating.
Visuals.
This is fascinating. I have no predominance. I
No,
use, I use it
it's
all.
just yeah.
I use it all. I never know which I'm going to bring forward more in any given session or sit. But I use all the chakras, all the centers, every single one of them.
So it's wide open then.
Uh,
Yeah, okay.
Literally. My group refers to us as being, and this is a new term, I haven't heard other people using this term before, but they refer to us as a whole consciousness channel. So not a
Right.
channel, and not a conscious channel, but a whole consciousness channel. That's an interesting term to me. And yeah, we're discovering what that means and what that is. We still don't know.
Don't know. It means you could bring in something quite unique that no one else is doing. You know, you never know what's going to come in. It's a big place, reality, as I'm learning.
I believe that the whole consciousness concept is like saying whole body as well as whole
Uh-huh.
consciousness, meaning that I believe we will be able to shift molecularly to allow
Mm.
others to visually see the being and beings that are speaking, not just hear them, but
Now that'd be something. That'd be something.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening through the crystal, so I can't see why it couldn't just come through this. It's just molecular. It's just the
That's
same
what
kind of.
they're showing me. Yeah, we are a crystal in structure. We are a crystal in being. That's very highly associated with us and our lifetimes. And yeah, so we can do it right here. We don't have to do it through the mean of the crystal. They were showing me that we could.
I don't think I've ever heard of someone ever doing that.
That
Yeah.
I could see that we could do it through our own being and biology, and not need the extra or additional mean. So, yeah. The main message my group is really putting through is you are enough. And this goes out to everyone. You are enough.
Hmm.
You don't need the drums, you don't need the stage, you don't need all of
Just
that.
do it.
All
Yeah.
you need is consciousness, your mind energy body system, period. Everything can be done with and through this. You are enough. That's everything, meaning getting the sustenance you need to sustain your body system. Everything. It can literally be generated and created within and experienced clean through your physical body. And this is when we get into the level of being in which, you don't need to eat to survive or even drink water, breatharianism. And even beyond breatharianism to where you don't even need the air anymore. Yeah, and then beyond that to where you don't even require the sun anymore, which is the level beyond that. And um, yeah, I don't know that any of us are to ever achieve this in the 3D Earth life, but to come into the awareness that these states of existence exist, and to, just knowing they exist, our awareness sort of gets interested and attracted, perhaps, into a life experience of that. And wouldn't that be phenomenal?
Well,
Yeah,
I've been looking at some things that the Buddhists, the masters could do, and they were eating just little pellets, little flour pellets, but visualizing a feast. And this one gets so fat, he had to go into regular food because he thought he was visualizing so greatly. He actually put what would have been food just by visualizing it and just having the effect brought into his body. So that's been done, as far as I can see, with some of these Buddhists that done it. Yeah, just visualizing the intake, and it's producing the effect as if you've had food and water and everything.
that's
As
one
far as I can see,
level
yeah.
perhaps of the experience, but I'm talking about something beyond even that. It's not a
And
visualization,
bigger.
it's an awareness.
Mm,
It's an awareness,
mm.
yeah. An awareness that
Well, if this is a dream, if it's a dream field, then we can do that in dreams. We don't need food or water in these dream fields. I can't see why we couldn't do the same thing. Just the same difference, different rule set, but if the rule sets are changing, sort of thing.
not that you can't, it's that we won't. Because we don't come into a 3D experience to not eat. In fact, eating
Mm.
is one of the two main reasons we come here. I'll let you guess
Experience.
what one is. Okay, so it's not that we can, it's that we don't. That's not what this type of a field is generally used for. However, during the portion of the cycles in which we're about to have the opportunity to collectively graduate, then a whole set of circumstance and experiences, can be brought in as fun, for fun, you know,
Yeah, for fun. Yeah.
remind yourself, to show everyone else, to encourage people in the direction of growth, of expansion, so for all kinds of reasons. But once you get into the awareness of being awareness, no visualization is required of food, say when you're putting even a tiny thing in your mouth.
Uh,
That
so I'll just be that way. So
Yeah, that
yeah,
is
okay.
perhaps, a baby beginner stage of getting to the awareness of being awareness and being able to embody that to the point that your physical body requires no external source of sustenance. Yeah, no visualization is required because awareness knows it doesn't need to eat. And so there's no reason to envision anything.
No reason to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
That awareness
But
will
it's possible though. No, it's
steadily run
yeah.
and process itself through the system as its own source of sustenance. Yeah. So, yeah, fascinating idea. So I'm going to set the 11 minutes for the meditation again, and do 11 minutes.
I know. When you start talking, the time just goes by like
I
that.
know, right?
Just go. It's half an hour going.
Okay, here we go. Almost. I'm in the wake of a missile or bullet of some sort. It's very fastly moving forward toward a target. Mm. The idea of a crash landing, a catastrophic crash landing. I have a choice of two ways to go. One of them being into the demolecularization. I seem to be writing this choice.
That sounds your cup of tea.
I did not hear the words you just said.
No, that choice sounds like your cup of tea. Demechalization.
Of that which was being the craft, of that which was occupying the craft, back into spirit. And now in front of me is a galaxy. It is a swirl, a vortex of hues in pinks and purples and whites. We're going to go in I'm in a theme park of some sort. In the kiddie rides section, it's a big box of animal crackers in front of me. On the front of the box is the image of a cage with a lion or cat of some sort inside. A lion. And he's crawling up out of the top of the cage, up a ladder. Others are following him up the ladder. He turns and looks back at those who are on his tail. He's going up into a white circle As he does this, it's as though the ladder and all the others on the ladder have are falling away back into the black. He alone has gone into the white. We are in a tropical area, a paradise of sorts in the clouds. There is a female striped tiger and cubs playing. We're on a beach. Near the water. There is only happiness and peaceful energies here. There is no survival instinct or need. There are no others who would attack. Hmm.
What's the environment like?
Beyond that stated tropical beach near the water, no other concepts are forming. It is almost like a remembrance of an origin, of a home, of where this one is. Primary to, let's say, a more physical space. I'm asking why we're here. What this has to do with anything. And being told the scene is to help shift energy within the system. My system. to aid the journey at hand. It is now as though I am under a glass floor looking up into where these large cats are and are moving. A large orange cat is moving in a shape. Yes, in the shape of the infinity loop. We are still with the idea of the large cats of the cage. Of a large vehicle. I'm not sure where this is going. Large eye, a large purple eye.
What do you feel?
The discomfort of my physical body. I am scanning. A clearing. A yellow fire. A nearby cave. A car. (1920s) era vehicle. Maroon with silver adornments. What is this? There's a large white structure, a large white light. Like a pencil sketch outline of a being of some sort. This may be the walls of the cave, the entity of the walls of the cave. It is in appreciation of the fire, of the light, of the energy from The people here, it is engaged in its own activity of giving to them as they are giving to it. Nice. A man, approximately 20 years of age, an older man, approximately 45 years of age, a young girl, approximately 7 years of age. The idea of a mother, but distant from here. Not here. A large, what we would think of as old-fashioned telescope. Some of what they are doing here is sky watching, night sky watching.
What are they doing now?
I'd like to see, I'm trying to see. I'm coming down into the perspective of the young girl, and something in her line of vision. It's just white. I can't get beyond the white. Spiral vortex of bright aquamarine, green, and blue. We're going to take another ride. We're in a house. I'm standing in front of an old Vitrola, an old fashioned record player. We're in the 1800s. It is a lady's household. This is a spiritually inclined person's household, a medium. Lafayette. I'm trying to give me a name. I'm getting the L, getting an F. Very fancy cursive writing. I'm getting an A. I can't yet put it together. I'm going to set that down. It seems we're among the French.
What do you get a sense of there?
I can't get in, so I'm losing interest. I'm being pulled back like a rubber band. And seeing from a distance a rather artistic rendering of the woman flower arranging a vase of flowers. She is not young, my age perhaps, 55. Another artistic rendering or perhaps pencil sketch of an open book, a large open book. The field is white, the book is white. The outline of the book is in a light pencil type color. A feather quill, a man's hand writing with the feather quill in the large white open book. He is an older man, perhaps in his 60s. He is sitting at his desk. The desk is positioned in front of a very large window. I am asking if this has anything to do with us. Yes. These are maybe where we have met in the past and what we would perceive of as the past.
What are you getting now?
The man is sitting on the couch, legs crossed at the knee. He is smoking a pipe. The book is still here.
Can you get a sense of what the book is about?
There are books that he reads, and there are books that he writes in. There is a journaling of information, a logging of certain details, and the idea of it all being written into a memoir of sorts. The woman, she is a medium. She is having a certain amount of skill along the spiritual line. The man is documenting is citing certain information for prosperity. It is all very casual. There is all the time in the world. There is an interest in the activity. And in allowing it to be in the forefront of his mind. Mm. There is the idea this man may be a doctor. That he may have been assisted in some malady by this woman. That this did get his interest to open toward the spiritual side of things. As a leisurely interest and even hobby, but ultimately life and lifetime from that point forward. These are, of course, the retirement years of these two individuals, and there is no care for money. They are well provided for. They both live well. There are no harsh features to either of them. Not in their personalities or dispositions or life circumstance. They are people of leisure, and in these years have all the time in the world to just be, to just live the moments of their life. As the moments unfold, the scenes just described relay in large part how the moments of the majority of their days unfold. In the evenings, the medium provides meetings where others come to sit and to hold sessions. The energy of this is likewise very light, very casual. This does not happen every night. Every Tuesday. are the group meetings. There is no opposition. No religious presence in opposition. No person of religious preference. In company here. No one to whom these meetings are being brought to the attention of. It is all very, very free, very ideal and idyllic.
Are they able to channel in?
That did not make it through.
Are they able to channel in information when they're doing their spiritual practice?
The woman is a medium. Yes, she brings through information for the others. I can just see them in their own discrete settings, in their homes. And how the energy of the one is overlapping with the energy of the other. And this is all I'm being shown. It's just the same information in front of me. She in her home, he in his. Basic outline of the energy of the connection. Let's move on. I think that's it. I think I have the message. And that is that we are still here now in a very similar energy and a very similar set of circumstance. Where there is an overlap of availability, an overlap of interest that is in a very similar fashion, patterning out into what it is. Yeah, I can see that. Thank you. They are saying that they do have more to tell us, but it feels like for today we are complete. Have you any question yourself, James?
I was curious to see what kind of information the medium was going for in their sessions.
Generally, information about or in reference to the spiritual world, deceased loved ones, health issues, potential remedy, in large part. Now and again, a question of insight or foresight or precognition into coming events. Does this answer your question?
Yes. Another question, did you manage to access the theme of the book? Was this a spiritual book that has been written?
It represents the process of the man and the opening of his understanding into matters beyond the physical.
Could you get the name of the book?
Much like we journal now, in order to later see the patterns, comprehend the patterns, come in to a greater understanding and awareness. In these days, most people, or a great number of people, notably in this particular class of individual, wrote their memoirs prior to passing, and this information was to be used as such. Was to be used to aid in such. Does this answer your question?
Yes.
Mm.
will this be an ongoing contact for more information in the next sitting?
That opening us through to these informations is our own greater being. This greater being is, yes, used for all contact purposes. There are many positioned within this collective energy, some which pull more forward, others which pull more back to find, to form patterns you may conceive of as individuals. One of such who comes through to you quite easily, already. You may know as the one who has brought this forward to you both now, this being, OL, this being, the Yayal, who help OL's energies come through. Interesting.
So OL is trying various methods of communication with us.
The whole greater being is involved. The most appropriate pattern in any moment does come through to you. A very common pattern that does come easily through to you in particular is OL is the Yayal who again assist OL's energies in coming through. Yes. Have you any further question?
Are you okay just now to come back, or do you want to keep on going?
As you are not answering the question, yes, I am coming back. White. Yeah, that's cool. The white void. Love that. Just love that. You could have asked another question. I could hear loud in my mind the question on your mind.
I just I thought you were getting sore and painful. That's why I asked. Do you want to come back? Because you're looking quite uncomfortable.
We won't ask you if there's another question. If I have to come back, I'll just be pushed out. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't ask it. You gotta want it. I know that question I was hearing was yours. I'm like, I know he wants to know. I know he's got to be wondering.
I was wondering what I had to say. Was it wanted to pass?
Do you want to know what the question is? I can tell you, and then you can tell, and then you can tell all of us that was a hit or a miss. Do you want to know what the question is?
Sure.
Your question? Why does OL, of all those available, come through to you? What's that connection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first one as well. I was curious why it keeps coming.
What's that about? Yeah, they were fixed and primed to tell you. Yeah, that was nice. That was pleasant. That was really unexpected. That was very different than what I usually do. There's that static.
Yeah, it's a little interesting story. Is it dug into the bits involved? It's I'm trying to see where it's going, where the book and that stuff is going.
It was so slow and so still and so stable. Usually I'm moving, and things are changing, and this was just very stable. Every frame I was shown of her home and him and his home was just there. Yeah, really stable, and I could go all over the place, and they were just all still there. No, I'm not really getting any other information. It's like this is the set of great hair. And then, yeah, I could see why at the end. I could see what they were meaning to tell us. Yeah. Yeah, that was you. That was you, and that was me.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if I heard that right. As it kind of broke up slightly, I never quite caught it. I think that's what I caught you saying. In that time, just doing the same kind of thing.
Well,
interesting.
when I'm somewhere and I don't even know why we're there, like nothing's making sense and things aren't really moving, my first query is always going to be, what are we doing here? What does this have to do with anything? Why are you showing us this?
Yeah, what's the point?
Asking this, and how are we supposed to put this together into anything meaningful? Yeah, and then I could feel it. I could feel the overlap. Yeah,
maybe because we were talking about the past life things with the Knights Templar connection. Maybe show us another one where we've been doing stuff in the past.
I'm sure there's many, but this one for a reason.
Particular.
This one was shown for a reason. That reason being that we're doing an identical right here in this life.
Have another go.
Also through the interaction of our energy and our interests. Yeah. So it wasn't like he was really big in her life or she was really big in his, but they did intersect, and the intersection had an effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And an effect that could be felt in her life. Like I could feel the presence of him, holding meaning, and same thing on the other side, So yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And there was such a light.
And what's
I mean, I didn't get to see their earlier life or anything that led into their, later. It was specifically their later years. How their life culminated, or what it culminated to. So, like, I didn't get to see any, of what led to that, but that definitely became the culmination, which was really nice, just very effortless, very easy. No conflict, no confrontation from anyone. And in those years, the spiritual was very heavily opposed by religious and other people, but none of that seemed to be present. They were in a space that was very energetically cleared for this realization, these experiences,
purpose.
That whole template to embed into their soul templates, and which was probably to incarnate us here in this life. Fascinating.
So is OL a connection with that as well? Is that why OL keeps coming in? Is OL connected?
I'll have to ask more about your connection.
Yeah.
how I can so well because hmm
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
interesting.
rep-
Guess even.
yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah. That's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I feel really good right now.
That's interesting
Like
stuff.
an energy.
It's almost like a story going on. Just delving into a story, just developing up.
More
It's really
importantly,
interesting.
those energies are going to work through my system right now. I can feel them clearing pathways. Yeah, like wow. I'm always like that. That's what I want so much for myself right now. For there to be no opposition and nothing in the way to me do it now. I already went through my life, and all of that stuff. And, let that be done. Like I'm always saying, let that be done.
Done.
Now it's the latter years, and let's just be able to focus on doing as much as we can, leaving as much for the collective as we can before moving on. No need to continue going through kind of oppositional energies. And so, yeah, in my own mind, it's very clear to me what was shown to me specifically. You will have to come up with what that may have um, been for in regard to yourself. So, yeah, all kinds of things, but mostly for me, it's bringing in more fully and grounding the idea that we don't have to create any blocks or resistance in any way to the work at hand that we're doing in these latter years of this lifetime. That was really big for me. She had
Yeah.
no opposition. She was able to sit in a mediumship and dispense all of that information without anybody ever coming to hear of it that came to oppose
Uh,
her doing that or oppose her position in the society or anything. It's,
isn't that where we're heading anyway, isn't it? It's heading that way because people are getting so more used to the channelings and mediumship. It's much easier now to pull that off.
well,
Yeah, as it was then, but this would be the time. So I
nowadays
see it.
what comes in a different fashion, and we're living in a time of economic collapse, and in
Yeah.
on the ladder of society that's lower middle class perhaps sitting on that rung, and so that's the block. And that's the block the control system puts in place for a lot of us, so that we have to focus so much on paying the bill. So it comes into play in different ways. That's one of the ways that it comes to play in our life. I know in my life. And right now, I'm wanting to switch over again from predominantly the care work, and less so the consciousness work, more so the consciousness work, in a subsidiary
Mm-hmm.
position, the care work. So I'm
Yeah.
wanting to switch things over, and of course, the care work is what brings any income at all. Right now, the consciousness work brings a total of $93 a month. So, and not even that does help pay for all of our websites though, so that's not coming out of my own pocket,
Something. Yeah.
nice, but yeah, that needs to switch to an income that can actually pay rent and help me eat,
I should do it. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so that's the block, but there doesn't have to be that block, and so I think we're going to work through the way I structure
Yeah.
inside me that is resulting in this right now, to see if we can push it through. I've been working diligently at this. I want to do the consciousness work 7 days a week. I don't want to do the other right now. I want to focus on this. Yeah.